there was a lady that we know, Carolyn, you'll remember Miriam? She was writing a book, I don't know if you knew that or not,
No.
on how ultrasounds are, she believed, was the cause of ADD in children. Because the children that she worked with that were Mennonite, that didn't get the ultrasounds, didn't develop ADD. While the children that she worked with that went through a doctor, was delivered through a doctor, and had the ultrasounds, were developing the ADD. It's sad that she passed away before she finished that book. But there's a real strong correlation between ultrasounds and it weakening the myelin sheathing. So I'm very anti-ultrasound. Actually, in 1984, there was a summit where the people who developed ultrasounds were talking to the AMA. And the AMA says, we want to use these ultrasounds on these fetuses. We can tell different things and stuff. And the people who developed ultrasound said, not a good idea. It's never been studied on humans, but we know that we can demyelinate puppies' nervous systems by doing enough ultrasounds on their pregnant mother. So whenever their mother's pregnant, if we do enough ultrasounds, the puppies are born without myelin on their nervous system.
Oh,
if we do it enough times.
Why would they do that?
Huh?
Why would they do that?
Well, they do it for a couple of reasons. For one thing, like to try to know how to rebuild the myelin sheathing.
Oh, okay.
But they also did it,
Okay.
the 39 studies they did it was to see whether or not ultrasound was safe. So they said, we will say it is not wise to do ultrasounds on fetuses. And the AMA came back and said, yeah, but what if the baby is dead or so morbidly deformed that the mother would want to abort? It wouldn't matter then if it affected her, And they said, and the people who developed the ultrasound said, okay, we can sign off on that. If you believe that the baby is dead or morbidly deformed, then you can use an ultrasound. So that's how it got passed. After a while, since the babies that lived through the ultrasound didn't have two heads and something majorly going on with them, the AMA on their own said, we assume there's no risk, but they never studied it. But if you look at the increase of ultrasounds and the statistics of the increase in ADD, they are almost parallel. And that's what Miriam was writing in her book about. So I'm very anti-ultrasound. All right.
Well, they even make a DVD now of the baby. It's like for 20 minutes.
I know.
That's sad.
It
is. And I have a granddaughter that had that done before she was born. The mother had it done, actually. And you can see a big difference in her and the other children. I mean, I can see it. So it isn't a good thing.
No, it's not. Well, people just say, and doctors will even say this, because they said to my daughter, it's just sound, Nicole. But you know what? They can take ultrasound and they can break up gallstones and kidney stones.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have something, I don't remember what it is, but they're using it to break up fat for people to lose weight. And sound, if a woman sings a certain note, she can break glass with sound. Sound has energy and can cause problems. So even though it's just sound, it can do damage.
I believe it.
Yep. Well, like you said, you see it firsthand.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, Gloria, listen up. This is what you do now.
Okay.
All right?
I'm taking notes.
All right. Things that nourish the myelin sheathing: eating primrose oil, flaxseed oil, and super omega-3 oils. These are usually made by salmon. So I usually like a little bit of a vegetation source and an animal source.
Oh, so you combine two of them.
Yeah. I'd either take 1 and 3 or 2 and 3.
So how do you know which one to take between evening primrose and flaxseed?
If there's any kind of inflammation in the body, I give the evening primrose oil because the prostaglandins also help with inflammation, so you're like killing two birds with one stone.
I'm sorry, the what gland?
Prostaglandin. Oh, I see what you're talking about. Prostaglandin. Prostaglandin is a nutrient that soothes inflammation.
Oh, okay.
It's not a gland in your body. It's
Yeah, I got you
constituted in
now.
the oil. So I use evening primrose oil if there's inflammation. If there's not, I go to the cheaper flaxseed oil.
Okay.
Because I'm cheap whenever possible. Okay, nervine herbs, we'll get into those later on separately. And spirulina. I don't do it for teenagers or children because their thymus gland is so active and spirulina kind of revs up the thymus gland. I don't suggest spirulina for teenagers or young children, but I do for adults. And it's because of the RNA, ribonucleic acid. It speeds up the healing process. So this is my poor attempt of drawing a picture of DNA. So this is supposed to look like a twisted ladder. Although it doesn't, it looks like beads or something, a necklace, but it's supposed to be a twisted ladder. This is DNA. DNA is basically like a blueprint. While RNA is more like the little construction workers that implement and repair. So, did you ever see Extreme Home Makeover?
Mm-hmm.
Where they'll build a house in a week?
Yeah.
The reason why they can do that is because they have a massive amount of construction workers. The average person does not get their house built in a week.
No.
So to take spirulina is to add construction workers
To your DNA?
to your body so that it can look at the DNA and it can help facilitate the healing more quickly.
Okay, so the construction workers or the spirulina goes in and looks at the DNA, which is the blueprint, and then they construct what you need.
Very close. Yes. It's a metaphor, but close enough. It gives you the idea. Okay, so any questions about the spirulina?
Nope, not as long as I'm close.
Okay. There's other nutrients, B complex. That's what I started with in the beginning, but I got a little bit of anxiety. Didn't think too much of it because I wasn't keeping that good of notes because I didn't know that nourishing my myelin sheathing was going to make my OCD go away. However, now that I work with people, I found out that a lot of people that are lacking fatty acids cannot tolerate B complex in the beginning. So although B complex is very good for the nervous system, some people cannot tolerate it. Oops, sorry about that. As a matter of fact, I used to take something called Nutricom, and when I took Nutricom, it absolutely made me feel like I was jumping out of my skin.
And I love it.
Yeah, see, you love it. Well, you must have enough fatty acids. But not all people can tolerate those kind of B vitamins.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually don't start out in the beginning of a protocol with B vitamins. Although it's good for the nerves, if you don't have enough fatty acids, it acts almost like a toxin in the body. And it causes an anxiety. And that's very common. By the time someone has ADD or OCD bad enough, usually they cannot tolerate the B complex in the beginning. A good source of calcium and magnesium, good idea. I like skeletal strength, that's my favorite. Inositol, like the B complex, for these two I would wait.